Imagine going through the rain with a friend. There's a lot of rain, and your automobile breaks down. And you're considering stopping the vehicle somewhere. A nearby abandoned bungalow is reminiscent of the city in the film The Mayor. There's a noise emanating from within this bungalow that sounds like building work being done. You reason that since there is nowhere to stay and there must be someone inside this bungalow, you and your friend should enter the structure. As soon as you go inside, you realize, there's only the sound of construction approaching. However, nothing is being done there. You begin to wonder why the sound is continuing even if nothing is being done. You've entered the house and are almost at the stairs. There is only a wall at the top of the stairs, and it won't go to a different floor. However, the sound keeps coming. The noise of building. After that, you are going in the direction of the sound and apparition. Not using hands or legs. Approaching you. What's wrong? Did you lose your way? How are you feeling? You may be asking yourself, why should I go there in the first place? How do we know that the ghost bungalow in De Monte Colony exists? In America, there is a building that is 130 years old. And the name of the structure is the Winchester Mystery Ghost House. It remains in place. This U.S. California building, it's widely discussed that this structure is the most haunted ever. When someone goes there, they will say things like, someone touched my hand, someone talked to me, but nobody's there, and 24/7, I can hear construction going on. I spotted Mrs. Winchester, the building's owner, when I went inside. Sitting in the basement, she performed several black magic tricks. She passed away around a century ago. These kinds of stories are still spoken in California today. In the video for today lost both her spouse and her child. She was informed by certain spirits that bad spirits were pursuing the souls of her spouse and kid in the hereafter. This wealthy woman, Mrs. Winchester, lived a century ago, spent all of her possessions and built this building. Her husband was a gun manufacturer, and she thought that all of the ghosts of the people her husband had killed were out to get him. She so made a room for every soul and implored the spirits to remain there. Therefore, the bungalow is essentially designed to keep evil spirits out. Even in these modern times, San Jose, California, USA. We're going to learn about the Winchester Mystery House in this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel before that. In order for you to be the only ones to view my mystery videos, Winchester from this place any kind of ghost story, mystery story, or current event, you can join our team and receive notifications for that. To begin with, Winchester is a family name. Although they have family names there, we have our parents' names in our initials here. In the 1800s, during the American Civil War, the Winchester Repeating Arms Company was in operation. Guns were the company's products. They manufactured twin-barrel guns in large quantities. During the American Civil War, there was a need for such. Thus, the U.S. and guns continue to have an unbreakable relationship. Israel would buy their guns from them if they had a problem. Thus, the Winchester family has been making enormous profits from the sale of firearms. After it, Winchester rose to become one of the richest men. In that period, he was blessed with a boy. He goes by William Winchester for that infant. He is our story's protagonist. It was he who turned into a ghost and begged his wife for assistance after his death. Sarah Pardee was a stunning young woman he married when he was 25 years old. As William and Sarah Winchester, they got married. Following that, they are fortunate to have a stunning child. Sadly, this child, who was maybe 2 or 3 years old, died. They are wealthy and only had one child, who passed away before turning 30. Their emotional state suffered greatly as a result. This wealthy Winchester was born, married, and his child passed away. He was unable to move on after the death of his child. He passed away at the age of 44 and was always thinking about his child. At the age of 29, he lost his child, and at the age of 44, he passed away. The age of his wife at the time was 42. 42 was Sarah Winchester's age. William married a regular woman, who later lost her husband and became a widow. She rose to become one of the wealthiest women in the world and the owner of the rifle industry. This actually did occur. She was going through some bizarre experiences in front of her eyes when she was at the height of her depression. "Spirits are speaking to me," she declared. "I have something in the mail from them. I heard what they were saying." Because of her affluence, people are reluctant to criticize her. Her opponents also believe that losing all of her possessions would be beneficial. Many others confirm that spirits really exist and sparked her views about them. She's at her most superstitious. She was convinced that she was receiving messages from the spirits. She once heard from a spirit that said, "Your husband was making guns. The souls of those who lost their lives due to the firearms your spouse crafted are now wandering in the afterlife. They are now making fun of your spouse and child. They are pursuing them with great fervor. They are being tormented. If you'd like to end that right now, you ought to build a house and dissolve all of your assets. Not in this place, but in California, buy a large house in a Californian city, and begin construction on that house. Allow every room to every spirit, design the rooms with a convoluted layout to disorient the spirits and prevent them from emerging. They won't bother your husband anymore." She was informed all of this by a spirit. That was what she really thought. After that, she left her residence and bought a place in California. The building has 7 stories, that is the Winchester home, which will become a haunted house in the future. She began building after purchasing the home. She constructed a room that is closed off to the outside and cannot be entered by anyone. She constructed an additional room with 3 exit doors and 1 entry door. A floor-level window would be located in the middle of the space. You can access the floor below through that, and you have access to the floor above through a window in the ceiling. However, there are no steps to join the levels. She thus constructed this intricately designed home. She wanted everyone who came to this house to get lost there. They shouldn't be allowed to leave this house, because spirits, not people, are the reason she built this. This was constructed entirely by her during the course of 36 years, till her demise. She passed away at 83 years old. At 45, she began working on the construction project, and she passes away at 83 years old. During that time for 24/7, there was no pause in the construction activity during the entire month and all 365 days of the year. Because Sarah thought her husband was the reason of the deaths of countless people. She would frequently be in each room while the building was underway and had a tendency to speak by herself. Those who worked during such time, such as construction workers and servants, have stated, Sarah would come there and talk in every room for a very long time. She would say that she was talking to her husband when questioned, "There's a spirit I deceived lives there." She would reply when asked, "There's a room with a confusing structure. A 4-year-old baby who has died because of the gun made by husband is there," and she would go there and speak. She would also place a cradle there. Throughout her life, Sarah persisted in doing these strange acts. She used every resource for the structure. Prior to her death, she had neither remarried nor had an heir. This is where the first story starts. Is this where you thought it ended? Following all of this, Sarah passed away. Nobody cleaned the house after her death. Similar to the Dementi colony, it developed into a complex structure. Illegal activity can occur when someone isn't around to supervise, isn't that right? It might serve as a haven for burglars. It's a great place for smokers and drinkers. Then after entering the house, people engage in more illicit acts. What unites all of their statements is that, "I kept hearing construction noises when I went inside the house, and I couldn't see any work going on when I got inside. And when I got there, I saw an old woman who looked like she was dressed like she was 100 years old, and she said, 'Get out of my house and why are you inside?' And she said, 'Get out of my house and explain why you're inside.' No one is in the house, according to other people. This is a vacant house. It was built by the woman Sarah for evil spirits. It terrified everybody. The US government now owns the building and has turned it into a monument. It has intricate architecture. The hallway is quite large, however, there's no way out at the end. The main stairway is large, but there will be a wall at the top. It has a large chamber, but we are unable to enter or exit it. it is possible to go underground. It is possible to enter but not to exit. Its architecture is peculiar. Windows are located in the ceiling or the ground. Moreover, the lamps are set down on the earth. Nobody can comprehend this house's structure with ease. Thus, to turn it into a monument, it will be a popular tourist destination. As a monument rather than a haunted house, the US government turned it into a monument. However, anybody in the US who are paranormally inclined, have watched videos about it, or found my video may visit that location. The experiences of people who came here will astound you. They said it was a really interesting turn of events. Sarah died almost a century ago, and the Winchester building is now than 130 years old. Even visitors claim that the Winchester house is frightful. After the chilling experience, we got scared. Some rooms in the building will reach freezing temperatures. We heard from someone that, she questioned, "Why are you in this room? You shouldn't be here." We left because we thought someone was working there. Only then did we realize that the speaker was a ghost. As I stood there, my hand was seized by someone. There was nobody there when I turned around. However, something held onto my hand and wouldn't let go. It has to be a ghost, they thought. Strange incidents similar to this still happen to people who visit the property nowadays, and other people thought they could always hear the sound of construction there. It is now regarded as a haunted house and is popular with ghost hunters. Sarah Winchester will visit their dream and punish everyone who entered the building without authorization, entered without tickets, or took anything from the residents, or she will punish them once they pass away. People present believe that she might possibly threaten them right then and there. Of course, a lot of people don't believe any of this, but at first, I told you about a situation. You both have the opportunity to visit this location. Ask your friend if he would like to go there with you after showing him this video. And what are your thoughts? Do you believe the ghost is real? Or the hereafter? Are the spirits from that place capable of exacting revenge? Or believe they are merely myths? Send this to a friend you'd like to visit, or forward it to a friend in the US and encourage him to visit. I'll see you in the video tomorrow.